Hello and welcome to coverage of Grand Prix Vancouver. Marshall Sutcliffe in the booth with Randy Buehler and Brian David Marshall. We're underway in the semifinals. John Stern, Mono Black Devotion, ranked number 25 on the top 25 pro rankings, playing against his teammate and friend Alexander Hayne. Canadian fight here. He's number 18. Mono Black Devotion versus blue-white control.
Yeah.
And you'll see some other colored lands from Alexander Hayne, but his deck is a blue-white control list.
And this is the Pro Tour Avison Restored champion here, Alexander Hayne.
That's right.
Playing blue-white there as well.
We have Grand Prix.
The Grand Prix Calgary champion.
Yep. And
Playing blue-white.
Yep.
I think that one was blue-white-red, but
Yes.
definitely it's Sphinx's Revelation
He's got
deck.
a little red in this one, too.
Grand Prix Atlantic
Doesn't
City
use it.
champion John Stern on the other side of the table. He has a Packrat on turn 2, but no. Syncopate.
Syncopate. Yeah, and that's the counter that has really crept into these blue-white lists lately.
Seems to be catching people off guard a little.
Syncopate and Last Breath are the two cards that have really
Right, I feel
changed
like
this
Last
round.
Breath came first, and that's why the
Yeah.
black got dropped, and people started playing Last Breath. And like, oh, I can have much better mana if I'm just blue-white with Last Breath as my removal spell. I lose Thoughtseize, but then you start realizing, you know what? Everybody taps out every turn. Maybe we should just play Syncopate.
Yeah.
And Syncopate's really come into its own. I feel like it's this weekend. I mean, it was not a big player in the Grand Prix
talking
before
about
the
it
New
a
Year.
little bit online in the last
That's
week.
right.
Alexander Hayne, by the way, played a Hollow Fountain upright here.
That's
took
right.
2. So representing
Dissolve.
another Syncopate
Another
for
Syncopate.
2.
Yep. John Stern's going to be keenly aware of that fact as he plans out this turn. Now, Randy, is Alexander Haynes the type of blue-white control deck that has a few counter spells or has a counter spell suite where, you're not going to be able to just sort of power through his...
He's on the heavy side for this format.
Okay.
He's at 7 main deck counters,
Okay.
4
Also
dissolves,
7
and 3
planeswalkers,
syncopates.
right?
Okay.
Yeah, he does not play Elixir of Immortality.
All right.
He's got 3 Elspeths in the main deck and no copies of Elixir of Immortality.
Okay. I think this is Saito's list. He had posted something similar to this. All right. John Stern with Underworld Connections into 4 untapped mana here, so a bold play.
It's like, are you representing Dissolve or do you actually have Dissolve?
Because it's a must counter.
I mean, you can Detention Sphere it, let him draw 1 card in Detention Sphere.
True.
But if he can't counter it and he can't answer it with a Detention Sphere right now, then that is huge edge to John Stern.
Start falling behind.
Yeah, it looks
And here
like
comes
the
the
Detention
Sphere.
Sphere mechanics.
Yeah.
Draw a card in response.
So cycle Detention Sphere.
That's
I mean,
right.
cycle Underworld Connections.
And get in there with his Mutavault for Alexander Hayne. But he is completely tapped out here. Does not represent Syncopate.
Yeah,
would
I
rather
was
just
thinking
get
the same
that
thing.
damage in there. So here's John Stern with his draw step. And a completely... He's got the go-ahead.
Yeah, I think Hayne probably figures that Stern puts him on no syncopate since he chose not to syncopate the Underworld connections.
Right.
It's like if he's gonna let me draw a card and then de-sphere it, he must not have syncopate.
Great
so
point.
Might as well attack. No reason to represent a card that your opponent knows you can't have.
Right.
Looks like another Underworld Connection.
That's it is. He's only going to play one of those at a time anyway. He doesn't want to get 2 of them Detention Sphered. And he draws a Thoughtseize. Does he have a Swamp to go with it?
Oh, Thought.
He does. Wow, what a sequence.
So even
for
if
John
Hayne
Stern.
had a de-sphere to answer it, it would have gotten taken away, and he doesn't.
And he doesn't. Supreme Verdict to Elspeth Island. So he can take away Elspeth here and be in
Absolutely
great
just takes
position.
Elspeth.
Yeah. And Alexander Hayne was working towards turn 6 Elspeth. Just slam it. Elspeth is good against Desecration Demon. It's just great in general.
I mean, it dies to Hero's Downfall, but
True.
yeah, Stern, everything has gone his way. He's now stuck in Underworld Connections. His opponent does not have a Sphinx's Revelation or an Elspeth.
Yeah. His his blue-white opponent is now on the beatdown plan with Mutavault, and
Right.
John Stern couldn't be happier.
Not really what blue-white is designed to do. Plan C, maybe plan D.
Yeah, we might begin.
And if John can sequence like a creature after another hand disruption spell, he can clear the Supreme Verdict and just completely take control of this game.
Absolutely.
Like a Packrat following another Thoughtseize would be insane here.
Yeah, Thoughtseize Packrat would put
2
John
Mutavaults.
Stern
He's probably thinking about whether to leave 1 available for blocking. He's going to go Demon. Oh, the
No.
Whip.
No targets for Whip currently. Looks like he just wants to get it into play.
It's funny, if this was the American version of the list, the one sort of the Reitzel, Sperling, Owen Turtenwald version, that would be a Devour Flush.
Is that right?
Yeah. They're off by 1 card.
Probably rather have a Devour Flush here.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Hayne's
Do
going
you
to
really
draw a
want to
card.
Devour Flush against...
Well, not
Haynes,
not in the matchup,
yeah,
but
yeah,
in this situation,
Yeah.
killing that Mutavault is relevant.
Yeah. Whip isn't going to do a ton, at least for a while.
Right.
It can do broken
now
stuff really late.
That's two more cards that are gone forever.
The nice part about Whip is that you can run your merchants into counters and not care as much.
True.
Hey, he's got the
he's got a
Devour
Devour
Flush
Flush
with it.
anyway. All right. I guess I would rather have one of each than 2 Devour Flushes.
Fair. I guess when you have Underworld Connections,
What
you
if
just
I
get
drop
all
both?
of it.
Right. And the Whip, clearly the more powerful long-term effect.
Right. All right. And so Alexander Hayne does find a Detention Sphere to take down Underworld Connections and pass the turn. I see a Hero's Downfall for John Stern and some lands. You know, after having 2 Underworld Connections for a turn or 2 each, hasn't really gotten too much going.
I think he's up 3 cards, maybe 4.
He goes up 4 life here. His life-linked Mutavaults.
That's a good point.
And Alexander Hayne drops down to 14 and seems to have hit a few lands here.
He's like, where are my planeswalkers?
Right. Yeah, he needs one of his big spells. He needs a Revelation or a Elspeth.
Is Mutavault's going to be good enough to get the job done? Feels like Stern needs to... It doesn't feel like he's done much. I mean, they've traded a bunch of cards. He's up 3 or 4 cards. The Thought Seizes are
He
insane.
really needs a return Centaur to hit him his own. There's a Jace.
All right.
Going to go for cards here. Yep.
Ask for a Planeswalker, get a Planeswalker. Stern's looking at the cards now. Those are Alex's cards.
No, he paused him.
He paused.
He paused him.
He
Okay.
might
I
respond.
guess he's like, I'm going to kill that before you.
Before you get a counterspell.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Oop.
Yeah.
Got
grab
there.
or no.
We're at
Wow.
it.
Now-
Did he get there? He's only got there if there's no Thoughtseize.
That's right. That's the question. Is John Stern, can he find a Thoughtseize here to take it away from his opponent? He's got a Devour Flesh in his hand and a Temple of Silence.
I mean, if John doesn't have a Thoughtseize,
I don't think he does.
and I agree, I don't think he does either.
don't
Now,
think he does
Sphinx's Rev for 4 could get Hayne back into this game. I mean, they'll basically be... Hayne's probably advantage there. It's kind of top deck mode.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Stern can knock him to 6 with these Mutavaults. But I mean, Hayne's going to... Yeah, looks like Hayne's going to get to Rev for 4, maybe 5.
Maybe even 5. Main phase it.
Yeah,
so
main phase.
Didn't draw a land.
Right. I would prefer to do an actual land drop this turn.
And there's 4, bringing Alexander Hayne back up to 10, which is going to be important here against 2 Mutavaults as well. Play a Scry land, and he's going to end up passing the turn
He's like,
back.
yep, leave that there. Can't Thoughtseize it, whatever it is.
Yep. Underworld Connections off the top for John, so he's got a nice opening to
Oh,
resolve
nice.
it here.
Yeah.
But Alex can have any number of detention spheres and such.
Well, that number's 2, right?
I mean, he only drew 4 cards. And he's used 2 of his D-spheres.
Right, good point. John Stern drops back down to 23 life.
Yeah, the Whip has done really good work here.
Yeah.
Hiya.
Mutavaults come in for 4.
Those are still
Hayne's
an
now
issue.
in Gray Merchant range, for the record. So Hayne has to deal with the 2 Mutavaults.
And the Underworld Connections.
I mean, his immediate thing is to deal with the 2 Mutavaults and try, ideally, to do that without opening up a window for Gray Merchant.
He just drew another Sphinx's Revelation anyway, and this is how this goes, right? You start chaining them together, and Hayne eventually is supposed to go over the top with bigger planeswalkers, better planeswalkers, more cards. He's going to get to Revelation for 6.
Not sure what John's thinking about here.
Yeah.
Is he gonna... So 3 mana for another Underworld Connections.
Okay.
Wow.
This is pre-combat.
Right. Draw a card.
Draw another card. He basically knows that Hayne isn't holding D-Sphere because he thinks if Hayne did, then he would have D-Sphered the first Underworld Connections. So running that second one out there isn't that risky. It's only risky against top decks. And
Attack with both Mutavaults. Hayne isn't really forced to fire off his Sphinx's Revelation here. He can still just wait. There's no instant speed damage coming his way. And there it is. Rev for 6. So back up to 8 life for Alexander Hayne, but more importantly, an overloaded grip of cards here for him.
yeah, if Stern knew that Hayne was going to get 7 top decks, he might have been a little slower to commit the second Underworld Connections to the board. Because that's all of them. That's number 3 and number 4. Still no creatures to whip back. Stern hasn't drawn a single creature this game,
It's a
right?
little weird, isn't it?
Not a single creature.
Alexander Hayne's hand is comically big here. And is this going to be an Elspeth? Yeah. All right. So
Yeah,
Elspeth's
guys.
Every time we've seen tuned in to watch Alexander Hayne play, he's just got a preposterous number of tokens on the board.
He does.
Sure.
He brought a whole box of them, and for
Yeah.
good reason. I think he's going to discard here. He's got a dissolve in hand.
That's good.
Well, he needs that in case a Grey Merchant
Yeah, Grey
shows
Merchant
up.
is... Elspeth will stop the Mutavaults. He's dealt with the Mutavault threat. Now he needs to not die to Grey Merchant.
Well, even dissolving a Grey Merchant won't do it, though, right? Because
No,
you'll
'cause
Grey
it gets whipped
Merchant,
back immediately.
and then you'll just whip it the heck back.
If only it was Dissipate. And that all happens in one turn, too.
Yeah, it cannot happen fast enough.
Discards 2 lands.
All right, so he needs to dodge a Grey Merchant out of potentially 3 draw steps here. Let's see if John Stern can find one. He does have enough
John's drawn a
mana
lot of cards
to
have
cast and
gone O for, apparently
it
O
back.
for Grey Merchant. O for any creature that
Oh,
would
for, yeah,
could
no
be whipped
rats,
back.
No.
Night Veil Spectre would not have sucked this game.
To be fair, he's run very well to this point.
Pretty key turn for John Stern. His opponent just revved up to a full grip for basically the first time in the game. The small rev into the big rev. Here's 4.
Is he gonna be a demon?
Yeah.
Drew the wrong part of his creature suite.
Yeah, it's just not amazing here with Elspeth out there. If
They
he
can get
can
whipped
kill
back, though.
Elspeth, yeah, and then just tap it down again, right?
Yes. Not amazing with Elspeth out there. Agreed.
Alexander Hayne has a backup Mutavault sitting back there as well.
He's going to attack, whittling down the tokens. Really?
It's interesting.
I'm sure this isn't how John wanted to be spending his mana this turn.
Yeah, it does get that feeling as his
Like-
hand hits his forehead.
Rather be
You know,
like,
when I was gonna draw 3 cards this turn, I thought it would turn out better than
yeah,
this.
I would Grey Merchant, you would counter it, and then I would whip it back and kill you. That was
Yeah.
plan A. Summoning a demon into an active Elspeth and attacking Mutavault into the tokens was not one of the first couple plans.
Yeah.
Hayne activates a Mutavault. Didn't quite see what the blocks were.
Just kill both your Mutavaults here.
I think he's not blocked yet.
Yeah, I think he's trying to decide. I think you go Mutavault blocks 1 Mutavault and 3 tokens on the other.
Farika's Cure your Mutavault.
Okay, before blockers, if I'm not mistaken.
Correct.
Makes sense.
Correct.
I think Stern was also thinking the Cure might bust up a double block. Like the obvious block from Hayne would have been 2 tokens on one on the other. Would have been this block, and then Farika's Cure is really good.
Right.
Still fine there.
Also leaves John Stern tapped out here, right?
Sure.
All right. Alex gets to draw his card for the turn. He finds a
That looks like a Jace.
Aetherling or a Jace. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see if he wants to fire off one of these. I think it's a Jace.
It would be hard for him to find Aetherling.
No Aetherlings?
He doesn't play
All
one.
right, so Jace it is.
By the way, I think we were talking about the mono black. That Hero's Downfall
Uh-huh.
also has a huge impact
On the, yeah.
on these decks being able to deal.
It just enables
Yeah,
the
I mean, I
deck
think
to exist.
all of that
yeah.
explains why Packrat wasn't around
Yeah.
pre-Theros, but
Because it's a
none of it
context thing, right?
right. None of it explains why this deck didn't exist at the PT.
So Jace finds 3 lands.
One of which is a Mutavault.
Right.
It's
There's
Mutavault or
also
no, right?
a gate.
Yeah. It's the obvious split.
Mutavault to hand.
Yeah, Hayne's still at a precarious 8
It
life.
does feel sketchy to me, yeah.
Well, I mean, it's 1 Gray Merchant. Gray Merchant is lethal.
It's
Underworld,
lethal.
Underworld, Demon,
Right.
Gray Merchant. That's 8
Yep.
black mana pips.
It is.
So he can counter it, but then it gets whipped back, and he can't counter that. I mean, he can Sphinx's Revelation as a response. He
Yeah.
can. He
Yeah,
can't.
interestingly, if he drew a Detention Sphere, I think he has to use it on the whip at this point, and
Quite
not,
possibly. Not the 2
not on
Underworld
the 2
connections.
Underworld connections.
Yeah, I mean, Stern isn't drawn great, but he's still drawing 3 a turn.
Yes, he is.
And there's his second card draw for the turn, and here comes the third one. Digging for Gray Merchant. Again, he has just enough mana here to cast Gray Merchant, have it countered, and then whip it back anyway.
Syncopate become relevant, removing it from the game.
Oh yeah, that's a good point.
I think that Stern can currently
That's a
pay.
good
No,
point.
Stern, if he plays a land, could pay for a syncopate.
Yes, he could. But then he couldn't whip it back right away.
Not this
and
turn, right? He'd have to
could
whip
be
it
a
back
turn
next
away.
turn.
Yeah, it's interesting. All right. Demon eats a token, gets a little fuller, gets a little tired. And looks like John Stern's going to
Lining up Mutavault for an attack.
still, get a Mutavault going for a potential attack step here.
It's interesting. Trading Mutavaults for 2 tokens seems to be something Stern sees as a positive.
I think he's attacking Jace.
He is.
So do you use chump block if you're Alexander Hayne here and just say, look, why throw away the other token if he's representing a removal spell here? Oh, he's reaching for the Mutavault. Nope, double block, make him use it.
Yeah, seems fine.
This
Another
could
cure?
In
potentially
case you're wondering what
turn
he's
on a
been drawing,
syncopate too.
It's Farika's gets
Oh,
removal
no,
spells.
Devour Flesh.
That might get the Mutavault out of Hayne's lands. Or it might get a token. I think either way, Stern's fine with this.
Hayne can now syncopate a Gray Merchant, so he doesn't have to worry about that.
He says fine.
Right.
I mean, it seems like a low impact
Yeah.
Yeah.
for Hayne. He's like, okay,
Right.
I could have just blocked with 1 token too.
Right. Exactly. Stern chips the turn.
Cash in Jace, Architect of Thought, find Syncopate, and 2 lands.
It's got to be
Syncopate or
Syncopate or no.
Hayne does not hesitate to take the syncopate.
She could do for 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Yeah, so he's able to maintain this board state currently, but
With
it's
the
going to, those underworld connections are still going to be able to outpace him down the line.
It's hard to leave up syncopate this late in the game.
Right.
4, 5, 6. Your opponent has 10, 11 lands. It is not easy to leave up syncopate mana.
But he also has, you know,
active Elspeth. But I mean, I think I'd rather be on the 3 cards a turn side of this fight. And eventually he'll draw Hero's Downfall. Eventually he'll draw Thoughtseize.
Right.
He'll draw, you know, multiple Gray Merchants, you'd think. So far he seems to have drawn a lot of removal spells.
and really like kind of chippy situational removal spells.
Yeah.
Which are just not great in this matchup.
I think that was Supreme Verdict getting discarded at the end of Hayne's turn.
Yes.
All right, John Stern with his first draw step. Second one now. Digging and digging. Yeah. You can also just find any combination of, you know, just get a Thoughtseize in there to see what's going on before he fires it off.
Yeah,
he's got a lot of ways he can get this game.
Does Stern play Grey Merchant of Asphodel?
I will look. Yes,
he
of
does.
course. He plays 4 copies of Grey Merchant. There's Nightveil Spectre.
Nightveil Spectre sticks.
That's enough of an incentive for Alex to fire off a Supreme Verdict at some point here, right?
But didn't he just fire one off to his bin?
Graveyard, yeah.
Yeah. I assume that was because he had multiples.
Yeah.
Once again, Stern's activating Mutavault and attacking into those tokens. He's gaining life every time he goes through this, too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'd be all good with you having less permanents.
Attack you. With just a Mutavault. I mean, if Hayne is planning on verdicting, you'd think you just throw the tokens in front. Freakus
Yet
Cure,
another Freakus Cure. Never-ending supply.
Ye old 2-for-1s.
Yeah.
Sort of.
I know. They don't have as big of an impact in this as they do
Yeah.
normally.
Like, I don't think this Furicus Cure does what you said it would do.
Yeah.
But he gains 4 life that turn.
Yeah.
Is that the match?
Sorry?
Is that the match?
Nope, game proof.
Okay. I heard clapping. So.
Yeah, they're always clapping. Yeah, Rob won that game.
All right, so no
Last
Supreme
breath
Verdict,
on
it looks like.
Nightveil
Yeah.
Spectre.
Scrying lands to the bottom and drawing more lands. It's literally how that's possible with a deck that essentially has almost no lands.
Last breath takes out the Nightveil Spectre.
And once again, Alexander Hayne hits his draw step, and boom.
Oh.
Potentially the one piece of the puzzle here for him. He finds a detention sphere.
What does he hit?
At this point, I think he just hits the connections. Alex is at 9. That was thanks to one of the Devour Fleshes.
Yeah, hitting the connections also makes the Grey Merchants not
Right.
hit as hard. Seems like the right play.
The theoretical Gray Merchants.
Right, the theoretical Grey Merchants that we haven't actually seen any sign of so far.
Right. I mean, Alex has been one Sphinx's Revelation away here for a while, but he's only drawing 1 card a turn for the most part, so
He went through 2 of them.
he did.
What am I playing right now? Oh.
Somehow Alex is still in this after John Stern has had the the 2 underworld connections going for multiple turns in a
He's
row.
gone through all 4 of his underworld connections.
Is that right?
Yes, all 4. I think he got 1 card off the first one, 2 or 3 cards off the second one. The other 2 got him, I don't
It's got to
know,
be like
3 or
12
4
cards.
draws
10.
each. Yeah.
He's well over halfway through his deck.
What's that?
I mean, I wonder how many. I mean, Stern has seen 30-some cards this game
Right.
at this point. I mean, I guess Hayne's seen a lot of cards too. They're both getting their money's worth out of those decks.
All right, here's a Packrat.
Starling, yeah, if I had anywhere near aggressive, I think he probably could have won that game.
Stern has a lot of lands on the battlefield. You figure he was probably playing those to help out with syncopate fights later. He knows that Hayne has at least 1, but
All I need is a little more,
he's got 4 cards left in his hand to feed to the rat potentially.
yes. Yeah, baby bird all the way is probably not the way to go.
Elspeth is at ultimate level, but not really worth it at this point.
He hasn't been in a hurry to do that, but I mean, he can.
No.
I think he's on 8, so he could actually do it and then start making more counters.
He could, yeah.
Yeah. So
I
dissolve.
mean, John Stern has been
for the
managing the soldier tokens by trading his mutavaults and removal spells for them. So he's made not a big incentive for Alex to want to fire off the ultimate as soon as possible, at least. Alex, yeah, dissolves the Packrat. Doesn't want to deal with that nonsense.
Stern can whip it back, make a rat, and
Yeah.
sort of get them started.
I
Despite
mean, that's
that,
a great interaction, right? Sets him back a bunch of mana, but like he gets an active rat going.
Stern wants to attack. Hayne taps it.
Obviously, flooding out. Especially having the counter for Chase. It's pretty, yeah, pretty much. Yeah, see, I was figuring you actually spend 1.
Is Alexander Hayne going to come back and take
I
this?
think he might.
Yes, I think he is.
He gets to untap with tons of mana and syncopate.
Yes. Not as much mana as his opponent, but tons.
A full grip of cards.
There's
More
Jace.
cards. Hasn't decided quite yet what he wants to do with Jace, but looks like going down to 2 here, and boom,
Oh
right off the
my.
top, the goods.
He does play an Aetherling.
Hey, there is an Aetherling.
It's not on the list I'm looking at. Apparently my lists are flawed. Oh, there it is. Sorry, I found it.
No worries. And the split looks like Last Breath Aetherling or Sphinx's Revelation, which is interesting. He's going to
Takes
take the
the-
Aetherling. His opponent's at 39.
He wants to close this game out.
He's got work to do. How much can Aetherling hit for after Elspeth's ultimate? You can
Right.
dump like half your mana into
Oh,
it,
grief.
14 or something.
What's the bonus from the ultimate?
+2/+2 in flying.
Yeah.
And I think he just made an emblem. He did.
Sure.
All right, so Alexander Hayne going big here with an Elspeth emblem. He has 2 3/3 flying soldiers.
Alexander Hayne likes emblems. Didn't he also have an emblem in at Everson Restored? Didn't he get a Tameo emblem?
That does ring a bell. He might have. All right, 1 soldier comes in, presumably the one that's going to get fed to the demon here. Does this open Alex up at all to like 2 removal spells? Does he have Mutavaults back up? He's got 1 back there, I guess. But he wants to get
Yeah, I
this
mean, he
thing
left a soldier
done.
on defense too. Can block a Mutavault.
Yeah, it just gets awkward, right? If he's like, yeah, I won't sack anything, and then he's like, attack with my demon, kill your soldier. Demon's lethal. I mean, Alex could have Azorius charms and all types of stuff anyway. So we've got a fully fleshed out game of Magic the Gathering here. We
Yeah.
have a lot of permanents, a lot of turns, a lot
Oh,
of cards
by the way,
in hand.
this is game 1.
Yeah, yeah.
Do we know what's going on the other table? What the status is there? They're in game 3.
Okay.
Wow.
So tied 1 game apiece. Battling to make it into the finals here. And there's a Thoughtseize. Haven't seen one of those in a while from John.
Not in a while.
Let's take a look at what Alexander has. You know, he tends to keep his cards pretty close. We don't get a chance to see him too often, so he might just counter this. No, he doesn't. So triple verdict.
Syncopate, Last Breath, Aetherling.
Yeah, syncopate, last breath, Aetherling, exactly.
You just take the Aetherling here?
Yeah, right? Or I mean, is the syncopate like a big deal? Is there something that John could
Well,
have
if you have
that
a
he
great,
wants to?
well, I mean, the Grey Merchant doesn't quite get there, does it?
No, it doesn't.
Grey Merch can be Last Breath anyway.
That's right.
I think you have to take the Aetherling out, but that doesn't even help you that much.
The question is, does John want to not die, or does he want to still try to find a way to win? Right?
Well, Alexander Hayne's going to be able to make 6 power a flyer.
Uh-huh.
I'm sorry, 9
9,
powers
yeah.
a flyer a turn
For free, no
Yeah.
mana. Yeah.
with no visible means of
Yeah,
John disrupting that.
that's right. Alex's hand is not amazing, though.
No. Syncopate seems like the card to take here. I mean, obviously, it depends what John's actually got going on, but
Of course.
whatever his plan is for dealing with Elspeth and her token, probably a lot harder through Syncopate.
Yeah, exactly. And if he can deal with that, you know,
Sure,
Alex's
so he
deck
finds
doesn't put that many creatures onto the battlefield, so the emblem gets a little worse. He's got a Mutavault back there, a couple of tokens, and an Aetherling.
But if that Aetherling
Yeah,
sticks, then there's very little
Right.
that.
I mean, it
Yeah.
still feels like a Grey Merchant game for John. I mean,
yeah.
it's hard to imagine him getting through with creatures for damage.
A literal head scratcher. For
This
John
is a
Stern.
really awkward hand for John. Yeah, you mentioned it, Randy. The Last Breath hits the because you know he could sack his Grey Merchant to the demon, flash it back with the whip. You know, there's things he can do, but having it exiled just takes all of that off the table. And it gets exiled through Syncopate or Last Breath. So it's
Yeah, I mean, the
super
thing is,
awkward.
taking the Aetherling, it's going to give John more turns
Mm-hmm.
because the Aetherling
But-
can come
but
down and
Alex
kill him
is
relatively
ahead.
quickly.
Yeah.
It gives him more turns, but it's turns where Alex has a Syncopate.
Right. Yeah. And also has, like BDM said, 9 power coming in every
Right,
single
he doesn't-
turn. It's like he's behind.
It's not clear Alex needs to even cast the Aetherling.
Right.
Elspeth will get the job done on her own.
This looks like a second demon coming down. Or is it?
And if John did get some stuff going on creature-wise, then
Oh, he's going to whip back a Packrat.
with back to Packrat. Yeah.
I mean, the problem here, of course, is that, and there's nothing
The
good
Trip
for John.
Sphinx,
Yeah.
Trip Supreme
He
Verdict.
could just verdict and then plus Elspeth and be like, your move. You know, 9/9, go. And I think that's what we're going to see as you see Alex sack one of his soldiers to the demon and just say, yeah, man, no problem.
Congratulations on your rat.
This rat has haste, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Attacking Elspeth. Both players quite methodical. He's going to throw his 3/3 flying soldier in front of it and make him make a couple rats if he wants to trade. Pitch a swamp. Make a rat.
I mean, that rat's going to die anyway.
Yeah.
Probably just make one.
He doesn't care.
Maybe you activate Mutavault to take down the token. No, he's going to make 2. All right.
You definitely activate the Mutavault.
But then,
But he
yeah,
doesn't need to anymore.
Yeah.
yeah, they both die either way.
Oh, yeah. There's more where that came from.
Really surprised that Hayne has wound up advantaged here. Stern drew so many cards with those unanswered Underworld connections.
Just most of them were Devour Flushes and Freakus Cures.
Yep. Yeah, it feels like if this was a sideboarded game, Stern would have won in a blowout.
Verdict.
Yep.
Yep. Got to deal with the Packrat menace. Now he should plus the Elspeth, right?
Yep, plus the Elspeth. He can draw some cards with Jace. He can tick up Jace and try to go a little longer game with it. He could even get in there with Mutavault if he doesn't have anything else he's
Oh, yeah, that's right. His
about.
Mutavault's a 4/4.
That's right, with flying. He's just going to say Jace down, and he immediately finds another one.
Yep.
John Stern's at 37, but Alex is going to be able to mount huge pressure really quickly. I mean, John doesn't have that many draw steps,
Yeah.
even at 37 live.
Attack for 9, attack for 18.
Right. It doesn't take long.
Yeah, that's why I was thinking the Syncopate on that one Thoughtseize. He took Aetherling in order to buy himself more time. He doesn't buy that many more draw phases.
Yeah, it's more time in
Elspeth.
jail, as it turns out. Yeah.
Right, right.
We can see a whipped back demon here.
Could. She'll eat a
But that's not
token.
going to do anything.
God, Elspeth has done everything this game.
She's been insane.
Think about how many cards those tokens have eaten.
I know.
It's like 2 Mutavaults, 2 removal spells. The demon was shut down. So much virtual card advantage. Actual card advantage.
And now she's acting as a win condition, too, and finishing the
Right.
deal. Kept him alive
Yeah,
for
she's not
5
done.
turns, and, yeah, still doing work.
That's actual win advantage. So here comes a whip activation. No. Here comes a Grey Merchant.
Is it a Grey
finally,
Merchant?
After all this time.
Apparently, Gary doesn't visit Canada often. He's not a big fan. But it is a Grey Merchant. How much would it be
So
for?
much worse than it would have been
No, it's
not.
before.
Yeah. 2 underground connections ago.
Yeah.
It would be for 4
yeah, this
here.
one deals 4.
It'd be for 4, and you just leave it alone. You just let it live. You let it resolve. Oh, no. He's decided to go with the whip on demon.
Can he cast both? Yeah, he has the mana for it.
But he knows about the syncopate.
Right.
That's right. Tough spot for John Stern here. There doesn't seem to be a path that looks promising.
Okay. So does he have a duress or a Thoughtseize?
He's just going to jam the merchant and be like, look, I know he's got one syncopate, and it's not going anywhere. He could wait till he finds one of his other Thoughtseize.
Yeah, but he could have.
He's not playing duress main, right? He isn't on
Correct.
that plan? Yeah.
Yeah, so here's Grey Merchant. He wanted to whip the demon into play to have 2 more pips.
Yeah,
but
Right.
It brought Syncopate into play.
Right.
Like now it can get Syncopated, whereas if he had done it before the whip, Syncopate, he could have paid for a potential Syncopate.
Yeah. And now it's exiled.
Now it's exiled.
So
he
he
did get rid of
can-
the Syncopate this
As
way.
are his
He
pips.
did. Yeah.
Yep.
All right, there's an Azorius Charm off the top for Alex. He's got his opponent down to 37 life. Looking to whittle away at that life total now. Start taking chunks. Here's Jace.
Sundholm won the other match.
Okay.
Mono Blue Devotion through to the finals.
All right. Staking its claim.
So we
One
will see
blue-white
2
deck
different
down.
decks, yeah.
Yeah.
And here's a dissolve for Alex
Here,
Hayne.
and here I thought you were going to say a disaster.
For just same sentence. One of these 2 Canadian players is going to be in the finals of this event.
Both of these Canadian players will be in Game 2 of this semifinal.
That's true. They are scrapping it out over this game 1.
I feel like the sideboarded games have to go so much more briskly, though. Like in terms of Stern being able to ask more questions. Of the
This
reactive
one
deck.
would be over if it was sideboarded,
Yeah.
and it feels like Stern would have won.
Hiya.
All right.
Yeah, Hayne starting to whittle away at that 37 life.
Hit you for 10.
What did he take with the Jace? Did he take the dissolve?
Believe
Looks
so.
like he took the dissolve. Yes.
I think John tried to trick him. He didn't buy it.
Is Stern out of cards? Is he just in top deck mode now? Yeah.
Yeah. In fact, he just
jeez.
plays his card and it's his second Mutavault.
Wow, Alexander Hayne, ladies
Yeah.
and gentlemen.
So he's got 19 power now he can attack with. He's also drawn a Sphinx's Revelation, though. You got to
I gotta
figure
go
his
trade for some
library's pretty low.
Elspeths. Alexander Haynes making this card look good.
It
Card
is
is good.
I know it's good, but he's really making it look good.
He really
Yeah.
is. He really is. Especially the fact that in this game it's played both sides of the field, right? I mean, it's played defense and it's played offense, and that's
Yeah.
what you want.
Yeah, when you get to tick it up above the emblem, make the emblem, and then keep it around to keep making more tokens, that's kind of
Insane.
the dream.
It is dreamy. All right, so a 2-turn clock. He doesn't need to use his Mutavault here.
Yeah, and the ability to put that much power into play without having to spend any mana
It's unbelievable.
while you're sitting on your dissolves
On a
and your
reactive deck,
syncopates.
yeah. Yeah, it's scary. And
Stern
that's going to do
scoops
it.
him up.
All right,
Wow.
Alexander Hayne wins the first game of the
Look how
semifinals.
happy he is.
Both of them are happy that game's over. It was a tough game.
Not as happy as head judge Toby Elliott.
Yeah, he's very happy.
Stern looks more chagrined to have lost that. I think he felt like with those unanswered Underworld connections, he was in good shape.
Let's take a look at our bracket here. Into the finals, Blue Devotion in the hands of Peter Sundholm.
Yeah. The one guy on X and 2 who had to play for top 8
Was
did play for
victorious.
top 8, won that match to get through.
Oh, and by
he's-
the way, now if whoever he plays in the finals, he starts on top. Right? 'Cause
Yeah,
he
he's
could've
playing
drawn-
first.
He could have drawn in
Good
that last
point.
round. He could have.
Yeah,
he could have gone for the sportsman-like.
Right, with
You
Huey
know,
losing.
we'll draw anyway. And he's like, "Oh, I'm in the 3rd seed now."
Yeah. That's a good point.
That's
And
a huge deal.
Look what he's beaten, by the way. He's beaten blue-white control, followed by blue-white control.
So he's got that
Wow.
matchup nicely solved. So if Alexander Hayne meets him,
Yeah, I mean,
Peter
smallish
Sundholm,
sample
huge
size.
favorite.
But
Yeah. Maybe we won't call it quite that. All right, let's take a look at our upcoming
nice.
webcast schedule. Super Sunday Series Finals
That'll
are
be fun.
February 8th and 9th. That's going to be at Wizards of the Coast.
Yep.
40-ish
40-ish
players,
people
yeah.
for 20 grand. Reed Duke among them. Owen Turtenwald among them.
Some awesome formats. Modern Masters will be played. Grand Prix Paris.
You and me doing the stream.
Yeah, that's going to be awesome.
Is it just you and me, or do we have a third?
I'm not.
I think it might be just you and me.
I don't know. Grand Prix Paris is Legacy the following weekend. That's our European coverage team bringing you all of the Legacy action there. That's big following for Legacy these days, and to see it played at the highest level is a
And
real
the
treat.
numbers in Europe for just
They're
regular
huge.
legacy
Yeah.
tournaments.
Where do
Not
they get
even
all the
not-
cards over there? It's insane. Pro Tour Born of the Gods will follow that up.
Yep,
Modern
following
and
weekend.
Theros/Born of the Gods draft. We're all going to be there. That is going to be an awesome event, as are all the Pro Tours. Grand Prix Melbourne Standard. Randy,
Have fun, buddy.
hey, buddies.
Yeah, I'm going to.
Yeah, Randy and I somehow are going to make our way from Valencia, Spain, where Pro Tour Born of the Gods is, down to Melbourne the following weekend. That's March 1st and 2nd. Same weekend, Grand Prix Barcelona is happening
Yeah, I
back
think
in
most
Europe.
of the pros are going to hang out in Spain and play the Team GP.
Yeah, the Melbourne one that you and I are doing, Randy, is standard, and then
Yep.
team sealed.
Yeah, it's
for
the first standard
Barcelona.
event with Born of the Gods. That'll be fun.
And the
For
team
sure.
sealed are always exciting. Grand Prix Richmond is modern. That's the following weekend after that, March
Yeah, and
8th.
Star
and
City's
9th.
running the coverage for that one.
And that's always fun to see what the players will have done with modern. Again, you think about
Right.
great. You think about Pro Tour Theros to Pro Tour Louisville, where people were
Definitely.
able to sort through the list and go, okay, this black deck did not win,
Right.
but you know what? With a little tuning, it could be really one of the dominant decks in the standard format.
And they'll
So-
do that from the Pro Tour
Yeah,
too there. Yeah,
yeah.
for sure. Grand Prix Montreal, Theros block sealed, and of
So
course
next time we
it's
see you.
limited.
Yeah,
We'll see you at
that's-
that one, right?
Yeah, I'll be there.
Next GP.
Are you going to be playing or?
No,
or
I'm
in the-
working.
It's a
at that one.
legitimate question.
Yeah,
now.
yeah, I'm working there. No, it's not that legitimate. I play in like 2 a year.
You played in Sacramento.
I
just-
did. I played in like 2 a year.
Played
I
day
was
2 in
rooting for
Sacramento.
you. Yes, you did. No buys. Who needs them? March 15th and 16th.
I could have used them.
Yeah.
You lost 2 of the first 3 rounds,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And then ground it out. Yeah, I was really impressed by that. So a lot of stuff coming up over the next 2 months. February and March are packed. Like every weekend there's an event.
Indeed.
All around the world. We're going to be bringing you all types of formats too.
That is
Looking
every
forward
weekend
to that.
covered, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, every weekend. Well, somebody will be
Legacy,
streaming
team
us something.
sealed, modern, standard, regular sealed.
Yeah, pre-release.
the
It
Pro
goes.
Tour.
Next weekend's the pre-release weekend, and then this schedule kicks in for.
And then get in
the
your
next
seat,
6 or
grab a
7.
sandwich, and we'll see you then because, yeah, we're going to be on your computer indefinitely. All right, looks like Alex took a quick break.
a comfort break. He's going to
Don't
be.
drink the water.
They really do have signs in the bathroom here telling you not to drink the water.
They do. It's not potable.
Is that potable humor?
You see coverage writer Mark Calderero there behind you. You can check out all the text features that our crack writing team, Mark, and also Josh Bennett have been putting up all weekend for you on dailymtg.com on the coverage page. It's not to be missed. You can also see standings where your friends and favorite players have finished, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, a couple people have asked me for the Agent of Fates deck list. So that deck won a trial
Yeah.
on Friday.
Yep.
So all the trial-winning deck lists are in the text coverage.
Oh, is that right? So
Yeah.
they can find them. Deck is cool.
You can also find KYT's version of the Packrat deck from his trial win, and we had a red-green deck as well.
And there was, 12 or 13 trial
Oh, yeah.
decks or something? So
Yeah.
there's a bunch of info there for sure. If you want to get the latest and greatest on Standard now.
There was the last deck that won was a green-white deck with Chronicler of Heroes.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, really? A friend of mine played against that.
Yeah.
In fact, I think KYT did too.
Yeah.
He said he was playing this card I hadn't seen, and he described it like, oh, yeah, I know that card.
I know the card I
I
draft.
draft that card, yeah. But he said that he didn't think that deck had the tools to fight the mono black deck, and so he kind of manhandled them a little bit.
Yeah. You know, when Fleece Mane Lion is like, you're like, I have resolved the Fleece Mane Lion, and I have monstrous it, and it is indestructible, and it's, oh, you have a Devour Flesh?
Yeah, oh, what?
Well, crap.
Can I get my 5 mana back then, or how does this work?
Get my receipt.
See, the players have exchanged their deck lists here. This is a courtesy, in the age of video coverage, and even in past ages. It's just a thing where you don't want one person to have an advantage of the other. Plus, these guys, they're friends. They test together on the same team, and they're buddies, both from the eastern part of Canada, roughly. So they are going to be making decisions based on that. I don't know if there's any big leveling wars possible with these particular sideboards. But it looks like they're in no hurry to finish sideboarding.
Well, they're talking about how all their other friends in the GP. Yeah. Anyone else top 8 besides us? No, I didn't see anyone.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hayne really doesn't have much to sideboard here, does he? His board is Archangel, Gainsay, Soldier of the Pantheon, 1 opportunity. Well, it's the 3 Dark Betrayals, sorry. Wait, he has 3 Dark Betrayals in his sideboard? Right, so the black mana in the main deck
Feeds
off the
that.
temples. He's got 6 temples in his main that produce black.
Okay. So he's
Oh,
clearly
interesting.
worried about this matchup. And also
Right, which set
about-
up 3 Dark Betrayals.
Yeah. Interesting.
So technically an Esper controlled deck.
Yeah.
Main deck
It's
is
a stretch.
entirely blue-white, and the black mana is 6 temples.
You said he also has an opportunity as well.
He has 1 opportunity, which
Yeah,
I would assume comes in
That
here.
comes in too, yeah.
That's
I saw him
pretty good
playing,
sideboard,
I saw
actually,
him
now that
playing.
I mention it. I
I saw
was-
him playing Archangel of Thune earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Sure.
in the sideboard. That card
There's
was
a
sweet.
number of blue-white decks that have put
It's
that in the
gotten
sideboard.
popular.
Yeah. I
We
mean,
saw
I
him
first saw it
beat
flash
somebody.
the Dark Betrayals. I'm like, oh, obviously Stern's not bringing his Dark Betrayals. Well, no, wait, that's Hayne's sideboard.
Ah, yes.
He's a lot better on that side of this fight.
I'm sure Alexander's been bringing those in just, to help combat Night Vale Specters, too, throughout the weekend. He's got, although he actually
I don't think he
has
brings them in
Last
against
Breath.
blue.
He's got
Yeah.
Last Breath, right?
No,
So he
they're
doesn't
for this
need it.
match.
Okay.
I mean, it's the one he was expecting to run into the most, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So, yeah, the 3 Dark Betrayals and an opportunity. What does he take out? Charm's not awesome.
Azorius Charm's not awesome, right?
He plays 2, by the way. He doesn't play the full 4.
Oh, okay.
He only plays 2 of those main.
So he's got 5 cards coming in, we think?
4. Three
Three
Betrayals and an opportunity. Yeah, I would think Azorius Charm. I'm not sure what the other
He
2
might
are.
just shave a couple numbers here and there.
Yeah. Or the Aetherlink's not spectacular. Really wants to win with Elspeth.
I mean, John can't kill Aetherling.
Yeah,
Right,
he can't kill an
but
Elspeth.
it's so mana
Yeah.
intensive. Like, by the time you get... I guess that's true. Maybe he has to have it.
Yeah.
If you get an Aetherling stranded in your hand, anywhere on the first couple turns of the game. And
Plus, I feel like he's going to have a hard time pulling win conditions out of his deck. He's going to lose some number of them to Thoughtseizes and such, and he's going to
Right.
need critical mass to be able to find them later.
Yeah, I don't know what the other 2 cards are.
How many
I mean,
Syncopates does he have, Maine?
3. They seem decent, though.
Yeah, they obviously get worse when your opponent can
And
fully
he may
play
have more
around
creature
them,
removal than he wants. Like,
Oh,
4 Last
okay.
Breath. Well, the Detention Spheres aren't really creature removal so much as Underworld Connections removal.
Correct.
And Whip removal.
and God removal, or is
But
he not
4
running
Supreme
that?
Verdict, 4 Last Breath. I don't know.
Yeah.
But, I mean, the Betrayals are in the board, so I'm sure they're coming in.
Okay.
I'm just not sure what other than the 2 Azorius Charms would come out. Stern's board, Dark Betrayal, Shrivel, Lifebane Zombie, Doomblade, Duress, Erebos, Flesh, and a couple of Cures. I would think 2 Erebos, 2 Duress for sure.
For sure.
sorry, I missed most of that. I was making puppy dog eyes at Mike Guptill in the hopes of getting us a box to draft with later tonight. We're all out of product.
Are we close enough that we can start thinking about the draft?
Yeah. For those of you just tuning in, this is not the finals.
Still in the semis.
This is the semis.
Yeah, Stern is going to keep the Hero's Downfalls, I would think, but 2 Farika's Cure, not very exciting. 3 Devour Flesh, not very
Oh,
exciting.
yeah.
That's 5. That's 2 Erebos, 2 Duress, and does he bring in a Lifebane Zombie? Does he keep in a random removal spell?
I like the Lifebane Zombies. People have been bringing them in even when they're not hitting anything.
Yeah, I mean, the information is nice, and the 3-power Intimidate pressure is kind of
Yeah,
nice.
it's good to be able to get at the Planeswalkers.
Right.
Mutavaults are an issue for it, but like all the tokens that Hayne has, he can just be like, yeah, we're just going right by those. Oh, Mutavault can't block it?
No, it's not an artifact creature. It's a colorless
Oh,
creature.
right, of course,
yeah.
right. So not
Mission
It is a
Factory
camel.
would have
so,
been able
so
to
is
It
it
is a
block.
just
camel.
unblockable
Yeah.
in this matchup then?
Yeah.
It's just
What?
straight up?
It is a camel.
It is a camel. All
Yeah.
right, thank you. Confirmed.
I don't know why my voice went all Peter Brady. Camel! Too many years of
Hey.
podcasting with Mike.
Yeah. No, you didn't call it the most camel of all time, so you're not
It is
quite
the
in
most camel.
full- Oh,
It is, yeah, oh
Okay,
yeah.
well, now you're in Mike.
It's the humpiest.
Looks like their players are deciding on their mulligans here. Haynes up a game. 1 game away from the finals. Oh, weird. A
Oh.
Mutavault turn 1. Looks like he wants to potentially
Yeah, it just
beat
means he's
down.
attacking on turn 2.
Well,
Also
yeah.
means he doesn't have like 3 swamps and a Spectre.
It also
Or
means
one
he
of
doesn't
his
have
7
Thoughtseize.
Thoughtseize effects, yeah.
Yeah, those aren't awful to wait for turn 2.
No,
Or wait
but
until
he's-
you have something
he's
meaningful
not turn
that you
2ing it
wanna
if he's attacking.
force
either.
through, right?
Right.
Battle.
But yeah, crunch. Yeah, you don't necessarily have to fire those off at the beginning of the game against the blue-white deck.
Not at all.
Like they're not. It's not like they have a Packrat you want to get out of their hand before turn 2 or anything.
Right.
We do see black mana for Hayne, which is relevant given the sideboard plan of Dark Betrayal. Like he drew a Scry, and there's the Lifebane Zombies we were talking about.
Yeah, is this thing going to get syncopated?
That's clearly what Hayne's thinking about. Hayne is very capable of bluffing there, of just thinking, even without a syncopate in his hand. I mean, we saw in the first game, he actually paid 2 life to put Hallowed Fountain into play untapped just to bluff dissolve.
Yeah.
Like, just to have 3 mana untapped instead of 2, and we later saw his hand. There was no dissolve anywhere in sight. So he's well aware of what he's representing and when he pauses and thinks about stuff like this time. Legitimately had the syncopate, legitimately wasn't sure, but did not want to see the 3-power unblockable
Well, you
creature
gotta
on
have it
Stern's side.
sometimes, or they don't respect you.
Sure.
To say,
Turn 4 Spectre.
And is this one going to resolve? Now we'll note that Alexander Hayne does not have 2 blue mana sources here.
oh, and
Think
there's
it's
a
Dark
sideboard
Betrayal.
Dark Betrayal.
Wow,
Yeah.
it just fires it right out of the sky.
Doesn't have 2 blue for dissolve either, but
That's right.
yeah.
That's a guild gate. No bluff opportunity there.
Oh, it's a guild gate.
Yeah.
Okay.
Are we hitting in there? All right, Mutavault fight here. So both players at 18. John has pretty much free reign here. Underworld Connections being the ideal windmill here, I would suppose, while the door's open.
Yes. Erebos is fine too. Connections is better.
How many Erebos did he have in a sideboard? 2?
2.
1?
Yeah, 2.
Yeah. Seems to be the number that
Yeah.
the Magic community as a whole is settled
Well, some people
on.
have 1 in the main and 2 in the board, but mostly 0 main, 2 in the board.
And here we go.
Leads with a
o'clock.
duress.
All right, so
What
we
you
get a
got?
chance to look at a Dissolve, a Jace, a Sphinx's Revelation, and a Sphere.
Interesting.
Yeah, so this is, of course, going to depend entirely on what John
Yeah.
Stern
Right.
has in his hand.
And if he's holding Underworld Connections.
Right. He's not going to take a Jace. That's how far I've gotten so far.
Right.
And I can't get any further without knowing John's hand.
Right.
I would lean D-Sphere here. Like, he's got time to draw into another discard spell and hit
Sure.
the Sphinx's Rev. Like, it doesn't do anything yet.
Well, especially if the card he's looking to push through
It's
here
Underworld
is Underworld
Connections.
Connections.
I don't think he's pushing anything through, though. It looks like he just shipped the turn back.
Yeah, interesting, he didn't attack with Mutavault there. He just passed
Oh,
the
I just
turn.
misunderstood. He didn't ship the turn yet.
Oh, he did not. Okay.
Yeah. We both saw the same gesture and thought maybe.
I saw that too. Yeah. All right. So
right. But all
play
he's got is
Mutavault, make
hit
a
with
Mutavault,
Oh,
and make a
Packrat.
Packrat. Wow. All right. So that turn.
Saw no Supreme Verdict.
That's right.
So Packrat is a viable plan here.
Detention Sphere, one of the better answers to Packrat.
Right,
And it's
right.
gone. All right, there's Jace.
Yeah, makes sense. What else is he going to do? Sit on a
Right
known
to two.
dissolve when Stern doesn't. We'll just make Packrats.
All right,
Two
land,
lands and an
Elspeth.
Elspeth.
So
Wow, if you split Elspeth 2 land, he's going to take 2 land in a heartbeat.
probably.
He didn't have a 5th land when we saw his hand last
But
turn.
there's I mean,
But do you want to give him Elspeth and a land?
But
Right,
he's gonna take
that's
that. He's gonna
nasty.
heartbeat take that, right?
He's taking the 2 pile.
Right.
You just have to decide whether you want him to have 2 land or an Elspeth and a land.
I feel like I would. Wow.
You know he has Sphinx's Revelation in his hand.
It's tough.
This is tough.
It's
yeah.
not clear. I think I would go Elspeth
is
or
he-
no and let him have 2 lands. Not have to deal with the Elspeth.
He has gone Elspeth 2 lands, and now
Yeah,
Alex
Hayne
has
is thinking
decided.
longer than I expected here. I mean, if he top decked a land, this becomes a little more interesting, but still think I'd want 2 lands. Especially with Sphinx's Rev in hand.
Just FYI, apparently that green-white Chronicler of Heroes deck we were talking about.
Yeah.
Apparently won a PTQ in Mexico City
Okay.
last week.
He took the Elspeth.
He took the Elspeth. He
Wow.
must have
Took the
drawn a land
Elspeth.
for the
Oh,
turn.
So he
Okay.
had drawn a land. Still interesting. Well,
Yeah.
it makes Stern split better. Like, if you'd given him Elspeth land, obviously that would have been wrong. But I think 2 land Elspeth was right. Even if Hayne had not drawn a land, he would have clearly taken the 2 land. But
I
given
think
that he
this way it
did-
just bolsters him against any more hand disruption, right? Like now it's like he gets to do something big eventually, most
Eventually.
likely. Yeah.
He
I
still
mean,
needs to draw
could be
land.
next turn. Draw a land next turn, he gets to slam Elspeth. Although it does have to be an
Oh,
untapped
yeah.
land, and he has plenty of tap lands. But I think he just wants critical mass of big stuff.
All right, Stern has
Assuming he'll
activated
draw
a
lands.
Mutavault. He's going to kill Jace and hit Hayne.
And is he going to make a rat as well? He is.
Survey says yes. So Jace is dead. Hayne took 3. Hayne needs to draw a land here. Like land into Elspeth. Okay, Stern's going to play a Scry land. I mean, Elspeth will hold off the Packrats for a little while and let him dig for Sphinx's Revelation. Oh, he drew a land.
Land right on time.
Wow.
Thank you,
Who needs to take
Dick.
the 2 land pile? I will just get 2 lands with both of my draw phases. No problem.
And there we go. Elspeth makes some friends, and he ships a turn back.
A turn took about 3
It
seconds.
sure did.
Yeah.
Oh, this
Hayne
land
was like,
comes
yes,
into play
land,
untapped.
land, Elspeth done. 3 guys go. Now what, John Stern? Your opponent is a Luxac. What do you do now?
Hero's Downfall.
Hero's Downfall, Elspeth would be good. I mean, you can attack Elspeth and force the tokens to fight and lose to Packrats. Right, he can make them 4/4s. He can actually make them 5/5s. I didn't see who he attacked.
I think they're actually attacking Alex here.
He needs a Bile Blight to remove all the tokens.
Yes, he does.
Yeah.
They both could use a Bile Blight here.
Yeah.
A Shrivel would be pretty sweet.
Yeah.
Bile Blight being a Born of the Gods card, of course. Interesting. He's going to chump one and take the other. Makes a certain amount of sense.
Now, do you bear down on?
Yeah, that's what John's trying to figure out.
You make a rat and then activate 2 Mutavaults.
Also, he has the ability to make 2 rats. Seems better than activating Mutavaults. It's hard to keep up with Elspeth with rat tokens, though. But I guess the tokens keep dying and the rats don't, so he can get ahead that way.
He can, yeah. He gets rid of a duress here. So he knows he has Sphinx's Revelation in hand, and he's just letting him have
Oh,
it.
Hero's Downfall.
And
Nice.
there's the Hero's Downfall. All right.
Hayne continue to top deck? If he top decks a Supreme Verdict or a Detention Sphere, he's in spectacularly good shape.
That's right. Even if he doesn't, he still gets to double chump
Well,
block here in Revelation.
Yeah, this is a
Or
rev
another
turn.
Elspeth.
Top decking an Elspeth would be good, right? Oh, land is fine.
Jeez.
Now he'll get to rev for 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is chump rev for 4. He's got 5 draw phases to find a D-Sphere or a Supreme Verdict. Or an Elspeth. Although Elspeth is only a temporary answer.
Right. Now,
Actually,
if John's found a
that's
Thoughtseize
funny.
or something along
One more
those lines,
rat
it
and
can help
Elspeth
too.
can take
though.
them out with her minus ability.
Yeah. If John finds a hand disruption spell here, though, he can.
If he top decked one.
Yeah. He can force the issue. And force Alexander Hayne to fire off his Revelation and draw 2 of those type of answers. Don't think that's what happened here, though.
Yeah. All right, Mutavault going on offense.
2 Mutavaults for Alexander Hayne as well.
Yeah, Stern wants to try to get Hayne low enough such that even if he does enter the Packrats, he's in Mutavault range.
Mm-hmm.
This attack is going to hit him for currently 6 down to 4, which is Mutavault range. Though of course there's Mutavaults on Hayne's side as well.
Hayne's going to go back up.
Now,
to 8
does
here.
Stern make a rat? I don't think he wants to make a rat. 'Cause if he makes another rat and they're 4/4s, then Elspeth's minus ability can kill them all.
That's right. I mean, the problem here, of course, with this plan is that Alexander Hayne's going to rev here. He's going to be back.
True.
He's going to gain 4 life here.
Oh, Underworld connections.
Okay.
That works.
Now we're in business.
I was wondering why he didn't want to activate that last Mutavault and
Right.
get in for an extra point.
Yeah, you saw
That's
that.
why.
All right, draw a card. Doesn't have any more mana,
All
though.
right.
And there's the rev. So
How
this
lucky
is
are you, Alexander
This
Hayne?
is a huge
You're
revelation.
lucky to be alive at this point in this game. Are you? But how lucky are you, really?
There's the first 4 of 5 draws he's going to get here to try to find an answer for these Packrats. He's got a ton of them in the deck. I mean,
We've seen him
Yeah.
draw miracles
he's got
before.
7 left.
Sure. It's Mr. Miracles, right?
Yeah. He is no stranger to the miracle.
Yeah, no.
He's got like 7 answers left.
Okay.
That's 4 mana.
This Jace.
4 mana
Yeah,
is
it looks like
Verdict.
Jace.
Oh, it's Jace. It's Verdict or Jace? You'd
That looks
assume
like
Verdict,
Verdict. Yeah, it
right?
looks like
Yeah.
Verdict,
All right,
yeah.
there's
There
Verdict.
you are. I'm that lucky, says Alexander Hayne. No problem.
And he's managed to leave up both a Mutavault.
Yeah, he's got
And
one Mutavault
dissolve.
he can block with. There's
Yeah.
2 that he can be attacked by. Wow. Stern is on an Underworld connections, though, so Hayne may have gotten a little burst of card advantage there, but Stern's got the 2 cards a turn thing going. Hayne's obviously applying no pressure, so Stern's free to use his life total as a resource, try to come up with enough offense to get those last 8 points through.
He's
Yeah,
going to
2
just use his
Mutavaults.
mana on Mutavaults this turn. He's playing
Back
around any
attack.
type of counters this way.
Maybe all he has, too. I didn't get a look at his hand.
But I mean, like a Last Breath is kind of disastrous here, right? Like Hayne can trade a Mutavault and then Last Breath. The other
It's
one.
not good. I mean, he forces hand.
There it is.
There's-
Oh.
Ugh.
It's not good for John Stern.
No,
I mean, I don't know
both-
about disastrous, but
Fair enough.
I mean, if he can just keep trading cards and trading cards, he's the one with the Underworld connections.
Yeah, but he has Sphinx's Revelation in his deck.
In his deck?
He will draw them, and he will cast them. And he's got Jace. That draws him cards, too. I mean, Connections is slow, you know. Tough choice there for Alex Hayne. He just snaps up the Sphinx's Revelation. Plays the land and ships a turn back with a Jace and a completely empty board outside of a Connections. There's no more Mutavaults hiding back there, right?
Nope.
No, they all died.
They died. So John Stern's going to attempt to grind
at
here.
a tantalizing 8 life.
Tantalizing.
What's that?
Tantalizing?
Well, yeah, you know it's so close. Like, I can get him from here. I can do this.
Dissolve
I don't
takes
think you
care
can.
of it.
Yeah.
No way.
Don't think he can. Spot in the finals. On the line.
Looking
a date
better.
with Peter Sundholm and his blue
Wow.
deck.
Wow.
Wow.
Would you like the Sphinx's Revelation, or would you like the Sphinx's Revelation and the Dissolve?
Gosh.
I
Or would
think
you
you
like
split
two
it.
Sphinx's Revelation.
I think you split it Dissolve and 2 revs. I think.
I mean,
There's no good answer.
there's no good answer. I would give him Dissolve
How
and a
about you distract
Revelation.
the judge and punch him in the nose? To check with Toby what the ramifications of that would be, but
All right, Stern goes
Yeah.
for Rev, and
Yeah.
it's not a tough choice.
Yeah. I mean,
For
this way,
Alex.
Stern knows there's less chance of permission. Like, if he does draw something, it's at least going to resolve.
Right.
So if he draws it really quickly anyway.
Yeah, the problem, of course, being for John here is that Alex does have answers to everything in John's turn deck. There's nothing he can do that Alex just can't answer. So when you're drawing this many cards, you're going to find those answers, and that's how this game's going to go.
But I mean, his best case scenario is to have Hayne not find the right answer. Counterspell answers everything. The other things, some only answer some of the things. So.
But when you draw 5, 6 cards and then another 7 or 8, like, you're going to find them.
Granted.
Yeah, I wasn't commenting on Stern's decision, just on how the game
his
goes
hopelessness
from here. Yeah, just like the way this game ends up going from here. As we go to the discard step.
Stern's just gone ahead and untapped.
Yeah. Now it is Hayne's job to find a win con here. He's got to get an Elspeth. He's got to get an Aetherling going. Got to get something moving.
Untap, upkeep, weep openly.
Resolves.
I mean, Stern gets to resolve whatever he wants right now.
He does.
Gray Merchant does for 4. That's not that exciting.
Erebos could be interesting. It's so tough, though, for him to come back into this.
Whip.
Whip? Whip's a thing.
This looks like Demon, though.
Yeah.
Yep.
And Alex moves to his draw step. He's got 7 cards in hand as he peels that one. Still sitting at 7. He's going to pass the turn. I think he's got a Dark Betrayal anyway.
Jeez.
Keep drawing cards for John Stern. Betrayed.
It's a nice little sideboard plan.
Yeah,
A lot of the blue-white, you kind of want to run the Scrylands
Azorius
anyway.
Control, they said. Blue-white, they said.
All right, replacement Demon and a Revelation here for 6.
7.
He used that 1 mana for the
It's still 7.
6, right? 6.
Oh, 6. Right.
So back up to
One of the mana
19
for
for
Dark
Alexander Hayne.
Oh, okay.
And 1,000,000 cards in hand. Again, he's just got to find. No, I think he found an Elspeth right there.
See, this is where I don't understand not having the elixir of immortality. You could do this forever. It's so much fun.
I think you could tell that to Alex right now. He'd probably agree. That would be more fun.
Attention sphere takes out the demon, or does it take out the underworld connection?
The connections, yeah.
Demon. He doesn't want the demon. That doesn't do anything. 6/6 flying monster. Why would he care about that?
Oh, here's an Elspeth. Okay.
Yeah. It's funny because Elspeth can kill the demon, but it's just so much better to just keep it at bay.
It is kind of funny.
While building out your board. All right, Temple of Deceit for a scry. Sure. Keep it. He's got an opportunity in his hand as well, and obviously he's going to be discarding here too, so. Passes the turn back to John Stern. Doesn't have that Underworld connections anymore, so he's going to be on the ultimate boring, only 1 card draw per turn plan.
Okay, 2 cards a turn has not proved good enough, so.
No.
Last game, 3 cards a turn wasn't quite good enough.
You need to draw 7 every 3 turns, and then you're good to go.
There's a Gray Merchant of
All right,
Asphodel.
here's a Gray Merchant.
For 4.
For 4? All right.
Dropping Hayne all the way down to 15.
What was the finalist? Mono Blue? the other finalist?
Yeah, blue devotion.
Who's beaten blue-white and blue-white in his first
Yep.
2 elimination rounds.
Knows the matchup.
Trying to take out all 3 of the blue-white control decks. Attacks with 2 1/1s into a Gray Merchant. Is he Supreme Verdict
He
in
must
here?
be.
He doesn't want to let the black mana pips build up too high.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
He's
he'll
only
make some
down a
more.
single token out of that exchange, so seems nice.
This game looks pretty over. Like, I don't know what sequence of things John Stern could draw.
Yeah, I mean, Alex just passed on playing a Jace. He's like, keep up my syncopate and my whatever.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
at some point, theoretically, like maybe John could somehow resolve a whip and gain enough life to deck Alexander Hayne. Like seriously, that's the only
Yeah,
scenario I could possibly see, and I don't even see it.
right.
There is another Gray Merchant, so.
Resolves, trigger on the stack, get that thing out of here. So it's for 0.
Yeah, Gray Merchant for 0, but Stern somehow gains 4 life.
Yeah.
Oh, Hero's Downfall gets pointed at Elspeth, but Syncopate will stop that.
And that's
Yeah,
it.
the
he's
hand.
like,
Yeah,
I don't
John
need any more
Stern,
of
that's
this.
good enough.
Alexander Hayne advances to the finals. Big smile on his face. Thankfully, one on John Stern's face as well. Happy for his buddy. Obviously can't be thrilled about
Yeah, if you're going to lose
the
a GP
loss,
top
but
4, you want to lose to a teammate and a friend.
Absolutely.
Every time.
Also
Have you
an
done this?
excellent player.
Have I lost to a teammate and friend in a GP top 4? I'm not sure I have.
The implication being that once the top 8 starts, nobody is Randy's friend. He gets his geek face on.
That was not what I was trying to say.
That's what I was trying to get you to say.